Kathy's here.
Yeah, she's so sweet.
I was like, how are you? She was like, let's talk about better things.
So she crocheted some greetings for you. She says, don't think Eli will like this new gift. He's a little old for booties. I had forgotten, honestly.
When I went over their house, she was like, can I get you anything? And she was like,
She's right.
so hospitable. Yeah. And I'm going to go say hi with Kurtz's on weekends.
Listen, I'm still in the same mood as I was earlier. So if I do start
It's so out of tune, but it's okay.
מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שברחים גם יחד. הנה מה ומנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbos, good evening. Welcome to Congregation Dor Tamid and our Friday evening Kabbalat Shabbat worship service. It's wonderful to be here with all of you this evening as we welcome in Shabbat, as we welcome in this day of rest, this gift that we are given each week. We want to welcome, and I'll do a more formal welcome later, a special guest this evening as we begin our service, Mayor John Bradbury of the City of Johns Creek. We are blessed to have you with us here tonight and look forward to hearing your words about your experiences a little bit later on in our service. And we welcome each of you for whatever reason you've come tonight, whether it's to hear our mayor speak or to say blessings for those in your immediate circles who are in need of healing, or if you are seeking the comfort of community as you are walking through the valley of the shadow, remembering someone you've lost either recently or at this season in years past. Or if you're here because it's Shabbat and you seek community, you seek prayer, you seek this moment of rest and reflection as we leave this week behind and all the schmutz that it carried with it and enter into Shabbat, this taste of Eden, this taste of the world to come that we are given each week as this gift. Whatever our reasons for coming together, we do form this holy community tonight, both here in our sanctuary as well as everyone joining us online through our online community. And we open our hearts to one another, our hearts to the heart of the world, as we sing together, page 128, Yidid Nefesh.
Yedid nefesh, av harachaman, av harachaman. Mishachadecha el retzonecha, el retzonecha. Yedid nefesh, av harachaman, av harachaman. Mishachadecha el retzonecha, el retzonecha. Yarutz avdecha kemo ayal yishtachabe el muladarecha. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, av harachaman. Mishachadecha el retzonecha, el retzonecha.
As we do each week, we enter into Shabbat by bringing light into creation. And to kindle our Sabbath lights this evening in memory of her father, our member, Art Meyer, I'm going to ask Sherry Nemiroff to come to the bima as we turn to page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Page 124, we read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May synagogue be for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
We turn now to the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat, beginning on page 130, with Psalm 95 as we sing joyously together, Lechune Ranena.
Lechune ranena l'Adonai, Nariya letzor yishenu, Nikadma pana betoda, Bismilot nariyalo. Page 131, Shiru Adonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash. Shiru Adonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai, Kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai, Shir Chadash.
Page 133. Mizmor Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash, Ki niflaot asa hoshia lo yimino uzroa kodsho. A psalm, sing to Adonai a new song, for God has worked wonders. God's right hand, God's holy arm has won God victory. Adonai has manifested God's victory, has displayed God's triumph in the sight of the nations. God was mindful of God's steadfast love and faithfulness towards the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth beheld the victory of our God. Together, raise a shout to Adonai, all the earth. Break into joyous songs of praise. Together, we continue on 134. Sing praise to Adonai with the lyre and melodious song, with trumpets and the blast of the horn. Raise a shout before Adonai, the ruler. Let the sea and all within it thunder, the world and its inhabitants. Let the rivers clap their hands. The mountains sing joyously together at the presence of Adonai. For God is coming to rule the earth. God will rule the world justly and its peoples with equity. We turn now in our prayer books to 138 as we prepare to welcome in the Sabbath bride, singing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach the 9th and final verse, we will rise and face the door of the sanctuary, hoping to catch a glimpse of the Sabbath Queen as she enters our presence.
L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nehekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmiyanu el ha'miuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem ultiferet b'litihila. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor haberacha. Merosh mikadem nisucha, sof ma'aseh b'shmachshava tehila. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadoti likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Itoreri, ki ba'ore kumi ori, uri shedaberi, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום את בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי כלה, בואי כלה. לך תודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך תודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
We turn now to page 144 as we prepare to transition into our evening service with the Shema and its blessings using the words of the Chatzi Kaddish.
ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, ועלם לעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא. אמן. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai Amorach. Baruch Adonai Amorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Am I awake? Am I prepared?
Please be seated as we continue at the bottom of page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשופרו ובקומנו נעשיית בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגב היום בלילה נגב יומם בלילה ואחוותך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 157, we read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
High heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha netar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osei pelech, mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha netar b'kodesh. Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi chamocha netar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot, osei pelech, Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom. Amidenu shomrenu l'chaim. Ufros alenu sukat shlomecha, ufros alenu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We turn now to page 162 as we turn to these words from Torah, words that remind us that as we keep Shabbat, it will keep us too and renew our souls.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam, v'eni uveni v'nei Yisrael oti leolam, ki sheshet yamim Asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat Shabbat vayinafa Shabbat Shabbat vayinafa V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam. V'ni domam, v'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam. Oti leolam. Oti leolam.
We turn now to page 164 for the Tefillah. We will sing the opening psalm together and then continue silently in your own space, in your own time, in your own way, using the words on the page or the prayers of your hearts. Many of you are beating me to my instructions, but if you're able, please rise.
Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, sefatai tivtak, ufi agite ilatecha. Use shalom bimroma. Uya aseh shalom aleinu. Se shalom bimroma. Uya aseh shalom aleinu. Oh, se shalom bimroma. Uya aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, Li'alko Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, Li'alko Yisrael. Yaseh shalom b'romah, Yaseh shalom aleinu.
During the late summer, early fall of 2022, Johns Creek's still relatively new mayor and I had been in touch, and he inquired about joining us for the High Holy Days that year. Now, I suggested Kol Nidre because of the beauty of the service with the cello and the music, and also it's not as long, and he was busy that night. So he said, well, what about Rosh Hashanah morning? And I did warn him that it is our longest service of the year, but he came anyways. And I gave him leave if he wanted to sneak out a little early because it's a 3.5-hour service. But instead, he sat in the third row on the end and sang through the entire service. And then did it again the following year. Over the last year and a half or 2 years, Mayor John Bradbury has truly become a friend of mine, a friend of CDT's, especially since October 7th, and it is a privilege to introduce him and welcome him here this evening. A few months ago, he attended a National Mayors Conference combating anti-Semitism and sent me a text from it, and I said, you have to come share about your experience here at CDT. So I'd like to introduce Mayor John Bradbury. John and his wife grew up in Sandy Springs, and after college, they settled in the North Fulton area in what would later become Johns Creek. When Johns Creek was incorporated in 2006, John, like many other residents, felt that the new city offered its citizens the kind of protection and local control that would benefit its citizens directly. When he married in 2003, him and his wife moved into their house in Johns Creek, where he served as Homeowners Association president, and through that role, he became increasingly aware of the city's challenges and its newly formed government. He began attending city council meetings and got involved in the Johns Creek Community Association. As a citizen, John started Preserve Johns Creek, a group dedicated to protecting our city's residential character and quality of life. Before he was elected mayor, John served 4 years as a city council member for Post 3. He was elected as mayor in November of 2021. John is a graduate of the University of Georgia with a Bachelor's of Business Administration in Management Information Systems. He has a landscape design business as well as other business interests, mainly in real estate. John is a former United States Marine and a member of the Johns Creek Veterans Association. He has served on the board of One Johns Creek, a coalition dedicated to helping youth mental health and prevention of substance abuse. His wife, Christy, attended Auburn University, so you're an intermarried family, and she is a pharmacist. Christy, John, and their daughter, Gracie, attend North Point Community Church when they're not here at CDT, but it's my privilege tonight to welcome our mayor, John Bradbury, to Congregation Dor Tamid.
I hate to say this, so obviously I'm not Jewish, and I'm not sure that I'm even a good Gentile, but because I have actually been here more lately than church. He told me that I couldn't say anything political, and I'm just going to edge right to the edge a little bit. My wife and I were here for Kalia's bat mitzvah 2 weeks ago. I walk in, and there are some ladies who are giving Tyler a big hug, and I just hear them say, "You're such a mensch," and then it hit me, that's the campaign. Vote for Tyler Chenault. He's a mensch. Fantastic. I will say that a lot of what I know about Judaism, I have from time to time gone to services at Temple, but it's, few and far between, to be frank. I would say most of my knowledge would be from history, from Seinfeld, and from the Bible. And, I grew up in Sandy Springs. Rachel and I were talking about, I went to Riverwood High School, and probably 40% of our classmates were Jewish, and so a lot of Jewish friends, a lot of bar mitzvahs, a lot of bat mitzvahs, liked a lot of really cute Jewish girls that didn't like me back, but so, I think that it's kind of natural for me to have an affinity for the Jewish people. It is not completely altruistic, and it's selfish in a way, and this is what I mean by that. Your Adonai is also my Adonai, and so when I read in the Bible that it says that cursed will be the people that curse the Jews, and blessed will be the people that bless the Jews, I take that very seriously, and for my own self-interest, I know which side I want to be on in that. I know that since October 7th, it has been a very anxious time for all of you. I hope that the city, especially our Johns Creek Police Department, has done everything that it can to make you feel more secure as you're coming to services, as you're coming to worship, to really pay homage. But I want to just share a little bit about something that I got the opportunity to do. Like the rabbi was saying, I got an opportunity, I was invited to this mayor's conference on anti-Semitism, and I do have to share, I don't travel a lot, and so when I told my daughter that I was going to Los Angeles, actually to Beverly Hills for a conference on anti-Semitism, she's 17, and so she knows just enough to kind of, know some things, but to not know some things, and she looked very puzzled and concerned, and she said, "You're going to an anti-Semitism conference, or you're going to an anti-Semitism conference?" And there's a joke there, but to be frank, when I went to the conference, again, I thought that I was fairly well-versed. I thought that I knew more than the average person, especially Christian, about the Jewish life, Jewish circumstance. There were a lot of things that I learned. It was very interesting to me to hear the speakers and the different folks that I got to interact with, that when there were students on college campuses that were chanting, from the river to the sea, I didn't know what that meant. I'd never heard that. That just washed over me. It didn't make any impact because I just never heard it. I didn't know what it meant. And so it really wasn't until that conference that I understood what that was. And when I learned it really, as aghast as I was, as surprised as I was to see what was happening on college campuses, to learn that those were the kind of things that were being said, it really was chilling to me, and I can only imagine what it must mean to you. And Sherry, God bless you, and I believe is your father is a Holocaust survivor. I know that for me, yes, it's hard to believe, it's offensive, but for you, it's more of an existential crisis. And I just want to do what I can, and it may be symbolic, but if it's being here for Rosh Hashanah for 3.5 hours. That's small potatoes. But I just want you to know that I value you. You're an important part of our community. I believe that our community is a very a good community that really believes, for the most part, the good in people. But there are going to be some bad apples, and especially kids. I think kids are apt to say things for shock value. That doesn't make it right, but they just have to be educated, and they have to see that it's not acceptable. And I want to do my part to communicate that as your mayor. I hope that the little couple of jokes, although it may not be very funny, I hope you don't take that as a sign of I'm in any way being flippant. More just, I go back to Seinfeld, right? And it was Bryan Cranston. He said, it's our humor that's sustained us as a people for, I think he said 3,000, and then
5,000.
Jerry Seinfeld said 5,000. So anyway, but I've always enjoyed coming here. I've always been made to feel very welcome and enjoy the music. I enjoy the tune. I can't always follow the words like I would like to, but I try. But anyway, I just wanted to come here and say these few things and how much I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. And what you said is education is so important, and it's incumbent on all of us, and for those of us who are part of the Jewish community, those of us who are connected to the Jewish community, especially having heard the things that you heard and understanding it, but for all of us to make sure that our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers understand what's going on, what these phrases mean. This Shabbat is a happy coincidence that this is what you're speaking about tonight. This is Shabbat Zachor. It's the Shabbat immediately following Purim, and this was not planned this way, that the mayor would be speaking on Shabbat Zachor. But in the Torah this week, we read a special portion that comes in the week before Purim that says, Zachor asher asah lecha Amalek b'derech b'tzeitchem b'Mitzrayim. Remember what Amalek did to you as you were leaving Egypt, how undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march and attacked those who were the stragglers at your rear, the weak, the orphan, the widow, the children, the infirmed. And when you enter into the promised land, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget it. Our rabbis teach that Amalek is the quintessential emblem of evil, of anti-Semitism, of hate in the world. And on this Shabbat Zachor, with our mayor's words being heard, we work together to bring love and peace and justice, blot out that which is hatred in the world. With those words in mind, words of Torah, words of hope, and words of love, we pause. Think of those members of our community who are ill. Some are in the hospital, some are at home recovering. Some have diseases and illnesses from which they may never recover. This week, we think especially of Jerry Gimple, Abe Asher, Sam Efron, Frank Scala, Andre Boykin, Bert Singerman, Mindy Harris, Steve Wolf, Mike Arnold, Sarah Kerr, Rabbi Jonathan Adler, Sam Brooks, Audrey DeShetler, Eileen Zukos, Eleanor Hochberg, Arnold Serlin, Eva Mishkoff, Sam Mishkoff, Ruth Golden, Sylvan Golden, Barbara Taylor, Marty Levine, Gail Rosenblatt, Harriet Jacobs, Beverly Mahone, Nancy Nichols, David Rafaelov, Tana Rivka Bat Yosefa, Brianna Jacobs, Lauren Kernis, Michelle Mandel, Joe Radowski, Bill Rubenstein, Arlene Silver, Dan Israev, Sheila Fagis, Susan Rachel Stockel, Stacey Ford, Sandra Slovin, Gary Swartz, Richard Jacobs, Brooke Jacobs, Carolyn Eisenhart, Brian Berger, Chandler Jacobs, Yael Batz David Valea, Jill Van Team, Reva Fisher, Mateo Velazquez, Max Jacobs, and Kathy Waldner. If you are thinking of someone who's in need of a prayer of healing, I invite you to share their name with the community as my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us online, to add their name at this time to the chat.
Sharon's up.
We think of all those, we've named all those we hold in our hearts as we ask God's healing presence to be with them. We also ask God to watch over victims of violence around the world. May they be blessed with healing, hope, and love. We ask God to watch over those who care for the sick each day. May their hands and their hearts be blessed with love, compassion, wisdom, support, as we ask God to watch over all of them and all of us with this blessing of healing on page 371.
Misheberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Ve'imotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Visheberach imotenu mekor habracha ve'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We turn now to page 377, and if you are able, please rise. We offer a prayer for the state of Israel. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim yishlayu avayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'gorlo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael reshit tzmichat geulatenu. Hagen aleha be'evrat chasdecha, Ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, Shlach orcha ve'amitcha l'rosheha, Tareha v'yoatzeha, Taknei be'etzah tova milchfanecha, Natata shalom ba'aretz v'simchat olam liyoshveha v'nomar. Amen. Together, O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. In the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen.
We remain standing as we turn now to page 586 for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, lateit gedola liyotzeh bereshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoseh haaretz, umoshav yikaro b'shamayim ima'al, u'shchinatu zo begovei meromim, hu Eloheinu enod, v'anachnu koreim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar v'ya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
be seated. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled. It burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see. In light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more seen. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. At this sacred moment of our Shabbat evening worship, we think longingly and lovingly of those taken from us, both recently and at this season in years past. We are in a period of Shiva, the first 7 days since her funeral, of Mimi Levine. And we are in a period of Shloshim, the first 30 days since their funerals, of Irene Duke, Adrienne Sunheim, Itzik Elgaret, Ohad Yahalomi, Shlomo Mansour, Sahi Idan, Shiri Bibas, Ariel Bibas, Bir Bibas, and Oded Lifshitz. We mark the Yartzites, the anniversary of their passing on this Shabbat, of William Badish, David Murray Baker, Charlene Kershon, Bob Kraselsky, Essie Kurtz, Shirley Lynn, Arthur Meyer, Carol Rose, Marty Schindler, Geraldine Siegel, Mitchell Sperling, Melvin Tasley, Romy Temkin, and Charles Buddy Fagelson. If you are remembering someone on this Shabbat, I invite you to share their name at this time with the community as my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us online, add their name to the chat. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories continue to be a blessing. We take all of their memories into our hearts, along with the memory of the millions of our people who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Remembering them and praising the source of life, we turn in our prayer books to page 598, rising together as one community in body or spirit for the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam la'omei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, huya aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, b'imru, amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved here and everywhere with the blessing of peace. Together we all say,
Oseh shalom b'imromav, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen.
since it is Shabbat Zachor this Shabbos, that means Purim is coming up in just a few days. So for our closing song, we'll turn to the top of page 673 and sing together.
Chag Purim, Chag Gadol HaYehudim, Masekot, Rashanim, Zmimo Berikudim, Havana Risha, Rush, Havana Risha, rush, rush, rush. Havana Risha, rush, rush, rush. La Rashani.
Please be seated. Good Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos.
Wonderful being here with all of you tonight, both in the sanctuary as well as those of you joining us through our virtual community this evening. Just a few brief announcements before Kiddush and Motzi, and a closing benediction so that we can all go have our Shabbat dinners wherever they may be. This Sunday, we have religious school at 9 a.m. for our pre-K through 8th grade classes, and we have Play Tamid, our parent and toddler class, at 9:15. On Monday, we have Mahjong at 1 p.m. And on Tuesday, we have our bereavement support group, which meets with Rabbi Judith Beiner here in the sanctuary at 10 a.m. Our knitting and crochet group will meet at 1 p.m. Wednesday, please join us as we continue studying the book of 1 Kings in our Tanakh study group at 11 o'clock. And then immediately following that at noon, you can help feed the hungry by participating in the Sandwich Project. And then after that, play some canasta at 1. It's a busy Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, we have Mahjong at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then join us in the sanctuary at 7 p.m. for a Beatles Purim story and sing-along. It's going to be a lot of fun. We hope to see you there. Come in costume, whether Beatles-themed or otherwise. Any costumes are encouraged, but we hope to see you here for Purim on Thursday night so we can tell the story, blot out the name of Haman, and cheer on Esther and Mordecai together. Then next Friday, our middle school youth group is having dinner at 6 o'clock, followed by coming to services with everyone else at 7:30 p.m. And then next Saturday morning on March 15th, we will have Shabbat morning services where we will also celebrate with the Jonas family as Maddie Jonas will celebrate becoming a bat mitzvah, the newest adult member of the Jewish people. And then on Sunday the 16th, come and join us. We have religious school in the morning for our pre-K through 8th graders, and then open to the entire community, especially those with young people in the families, but really anyone. Our Purim Carnival starts at 11 to 1. There will be lunch and snacks for purchase, some hamantashen. It is a tropical-themed Purim Carnival. It's going to be a lot of fun, so we hope to see all of you and your families there next Sunday. Each week we thank somebody in the community who has done something to help CDT be as special as it is. But we're going to go a little bit outside of our membership tonight. And Mayor, I want to thank you and the city leadership, Chief Mitchell as well, for all that you do consistently to support our city and the Jewish community and our congregation and community. So thank you, Mayor Bradbury, and also thank you for being here tonight. It is the first Shabbos in March, which means it's birthday Shabbat. So if you have a March birthday and you are able to, I'm going to ask you to please rise. No, there's a couple. We got a couple. So as I come around, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself to the community, who you are, what day your birthday is, and if you're willing, how old you're turning this year. So we'll start on this side. Tell them, who are you? Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. To you. We wish you all a wonderful day and a wonderful year to come. And we are going to conclude now with Kiddush and Motzi and a closing benediction. So I'm going to ask our young people who have not yet celebrated becoming Bar Bat Mitzvah to join Mike and I up on the bima as we turn to page 123 and we rise for Kiddush. Adonai Elohim, Haolam Borei Pariha Gafen. Chaim. We uncover the challah as we sing together. Min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in
Song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, amotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'avon.
And as they're having the first piece of challah on behalf of all of us, we ask for God's blessing. Adonai od le'amo yitain. Adonai yivarech et amo v'yekol v'nei adam b'shalom. May God grant strength to our people. May God grant all of us, all of Israel, and all of creation the blessing of peace. Together we all say,